All right, we'll go back on the record in the case People versus Brandon Martin, RAF 1506112. Record should reflect Mr. Martin is present with both counsel. The people are present, and all members of the jury and alternates are present. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, the court's going to do something called taking judicial notice of a couple of facts. And what judicial notice is in essence, there's a few different kinds. But the best example I can give you of what's going to be done here is, let's assume that 10 years from now, somebody wanted to know what day Tuesday, October the 27th fell on in 2020. So if they looked up a date, October 27th in 2020, they could look at a calendar, and the calendar would illustrate that it was a Tuesday. And a court could take judicial notice of that 10 years from now, in that the calendar reflected that. So the court's going to take judicial notice of a couple of facts, which are facts that you may consider, and they are as follows. They relate to Exhibits 180A and 181A. As far as People's 180A is concerned, those are the documents that have been referred to as documents having subpoenaed ADT. Those documents were subpoenaed on September the 30th, 2016, and they were received by the court November 7th, 2016. So once again, subpoenaed September 30th by the District Attorney's Office, received November 7th, 2016. Then 181A deals with the documents from the defenders. Those documents were subpoenaed on January 12th, 2017, January 12th, 2017, and they were received by the court January 23rd, 2017. Now, what happens is when documents are subpoenaed by one side or the other, the court receives those documents, and when it receives it, it's then distributed to the party that subpoenas them, and then copies are made to the other side, and that is how that process works. So what I am taking judicial notice of is that those documents, both 180A from ADT and 181A from defenders, were documents that were subpoenaed, received by the court, and distributed. All right, so with that said, next witness.
Thank you. I have a stipulation to read before I call the next witness.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, another just brief discussion here. Remember, I've told you the only thing that's evidence in a trial are the answers that come from the witness stand, from the witnesses, and then any exhibits that you might have an opportunity to see that are admitted. There is a third piece of evidence that you can consider, and that's a stipulation. That's where the parties are agreeing to certain facts. That is, any other witness or exhibit that comes in can be contested. But a stipulation is where the parties are saying, those are the facts, we are not disputing them, and then ultimately you can use those facts along with anything else that you find to be the evidence in the trial. So Mr. Kurz is going to read to you a stipulation or more than one, and to each of these facts that he's reading, the defense will be stipulating that these facts are true. You do not need to deliberate as to whether they're true or not. You can take that as true evidence. So with that said, Mr. Kurz, if you'd like to read the stipulations.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have two stipulations. I will read one now, and I will read one later on this afternoon. The first stipulation between the people of the state of California and Brandon Martin, defendant, is a stipulation regarding an RTA bus video. It is hereby stipulated by Deputy District Attorney Michael Kurz and Defense Counsel Christian Jensen and Edward Wellborn, for the purposes of this jury trial and any motions arising from it, that A, Riverside Transit Agency, RTA, bus video. 1. On September 22nd, 2015, Corona Police Department crime analyst Russell Leonard contacted Cecilia Perez, who is the risk management specialist for the Riverside Transit Agency, and obtained video from bus 31317 between the hours of 14:15 and 14:44 hours on September 17th, 2015. 2. The video from this bus is both time-stamped and GPS stamped. The bus traveled from Riverside to Corona. Brandon Martin is seen entering the bus at the Tyler Galleria at 14:25 hours and leaving the bus in the 500 block of East Grand Boulevard in Corona at 15:02 hours. 3, the video was logged into evidence at the Corona Police Department. And 4, the video is admissible at this trial without the need to call Cecilia Perez from RTA to authenticate the tape. That agreement was, that stipulation was entered into on February 27th, 2020, signed by myself, by Mr. Jensen, and Mr. Wellborn.
Right, and the defense then stipulates to the facts as read by Mr. Kurz.
Yes.
All right, then again, ladies and gentlemen, you can assume that those facts now are true, and you can utilize that along with anything else that you find to be the facts in the trial. Mr. Kurz.
Thank you. At this time, I would call Karen Alexander. Thank you.
I got my glasses on now. Karen Alexander, KarenAlexander.
And I assume, Ms. Alexander, you've testified before?
Twice.
All right. Well, if you have, you know the rules. Just briefly, just make sure that you wait until Mr. Kurz and any either defense counsel asks you questions. Wait until they're done asking the question before you answer, and then just make sure you give us verbal or audible answers, not just a shake of the head or a nod of the head. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. You may proceed, Mr. Kurz.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Alexander.
Good afternoon.
Who do you work for?
I used to work for Corona Police Department,
And what was your job with Corona Police Department?
crime analyst for the last 14 of 26 years.
Did you retire from the Corona Police Department?
I did in 2011.
Since your retirement from the Corona Police Department as a crime analyst, have you contracted with the District Attorney's Office to do some crime analyst work?
Yes, sir.
Were you asked to do some crime analyst work regarding the case of People versus Brandon Martin?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, were you familiar with that case because you were a crime analyst in Corona when for 26 years?
Correct.
Now, we've already heard a stipulation regarding a bus video that was obtained by the Corona Police Department regarding a bus that Brandon Martin took from Tyler Mall to Corona. Have you seen that video?
I have.
And were you able to create stills from that video?
I did.
Also, I'm going to show you some of those stills in a moment. The video itself of the bus ride from Tyler Mall to Corona is about how long in length?
It's less than an hour. It started at, the file was from 2:15 to about 3:15.
In terms of that video, were you able just to take excerpts from the video so we see Brandon Martin being on the bus, sitting down on the bus, and then getting off the bus?
Yes.
Okay. And in the meantime, from point A to point C, when he gets off the bus, it's just him sitting on the bus.
Correct.
Okay. So let me show you what's been marked as People's 219 for identification. And do you see that photograph or that exhibit in front of you?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell us what the exhibit it represents?
Up here is the timestamp from the RTA bus from their camera system. So it's designating 14:25 hours or 2:25 as he's entering the bus. The date, September 17th, 2015. This is the camera shot from the driver looking to the front entrance or exit. And this is a camera still, but this is as the bus is moving, this moves along with the path. This is the speed of the bus along, you can't see it here because it's stopped, but this would be directional, and this is the location in latitude and longitude.
Okay. And then at the top of that still, you created it, this is at the Tyler Galleria bus stop.
That's correct. This latitude and longitude plots at that bus stop at Galleria Tyler.
Okay, thank you. Let me show you what's been marked as 220 for identification. And you see that photograph in front of you there?
I do.
What does that show?
This is further along in the time. As you can see, the time has advanced to 14:59 or 2:59 in the afternoon on September 17th. A variety of passengers have come and gone, but at this time, this is where Brandon Martin is sitting in the front bench seat, and the driver is further along here out of the view of the camera.
Okay. Let me show you what's previously been marked as 221. Now looking at 221, what are we looking at?
This is designated at the Corona stop because when the bus stops, this goes to zero directional, comes off latitude and longitude plots to the bus stop at the 500 block of East Grand. At this point, he's gotten out of the seat and he's starting to exit towards this back door. You can't see it very well, but the exit is right here.
Okay, and that's at 15:02 or 3:02?
3:02 in the afternoon, correct.
Thank you. Let me show you 222 for identification. And what are we looking at there?
This is just a little bit longer. He has advanced from the aisle to, and I put a red circle around it because with the poles of the bus seating and the poles for stability, you can't really see the figure here, but this is him exiting the bus and this is the time on it.
And let me show you 223 for identification. And you see, what do you see there?
Correct. This is outside the bus, stepping onto the sidewalk area at the bus stop at 500 East Grand in Corona.
And that shows the same time at 3:02.
Correct.
Now, were you asked to find out how long it would take for a person walking from that bus stop in Corona, which you said was in the 500 block of East Grand?
Correct.
To walk from there to 1027 Winthrop Drive?
I was asked, yes.
How did you find out that time?
I went to 500 block East Grand at the bus stop and walked to 1027 Winthrop Drive.
And when you walked that location from the bus stop on East Grand to 1027 Winthrop Drive, how long was that walk?
A little less than an hour, 51 minutes.
51 minutes?
Correct.
Did you also look at Google Maps in terms of what their calculation as to that walk would be?
I had. It was, depending on the street that was taken, walking-wise, 53 to 59 minutes was the estimation.
Okay. Now let me show you 224. And you see that there?
Yes, I do.
Is that the walk that you took? And if you could please show us the locations that you took.
It is the route that I took starting up here at the 500 block of East Grand. It's just north of 6th Street that you can see along here. The bus stop is just a bench and 2 signs with schedules. Walking south on East Grand, south on Main Street, going west on Olive, and then south on Buena Vista.
So if we're looking at the bus shows that Brandon Martin was getting off the bus at 3:02 p.m. in the afternoon, and the walk was 51 or so minutes, it would have him back at the Winthrop Drive home just about 4 o'clock, just before 4 o'clock.
That's correct.
And then let me just show you 225 briefly. And is that the home on Winthrop Drive that you walked to?
That is.
Okay, thank you. I have one further stipulation, Your Honor, I'd like to read now.
All right, so remember, same admonition, ladies and gentlemen, these are facts that you can rely on. Go ahead, Mr. Pierce.
Thank you. This is a stipulation between the people of the state of California and Brandon Martin. Stipulation regarding a phone call by Barry Swanson. It is hereby stipulated by Deputy District Attorney Michael Pierce and Defense Counsel Christian Jensen and Edward Wellborn for the purposes of this jury trial and any motions arising from it that, 1, the phone records of Barry Swanson detail he made a phone call on September 17, 2015 at 4:10 p.m. Phone call was to the ADT call center. That stipulation was agreed upon on February 7, 2020 by myself, Jensen, and Mr. Wellborn.
All right, defense stipulate to those facts as well.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. With respect to that phone call, were you asked to transcribe the phone call that Mr. Swanson made to the ADT call center?
Yes, sir.
At this time, Your Honor, I would like to play that audio.
All right. We have transcripts.
We do, but before we get there, let me just back up a second.
All right.
Before we go to the audio call, I have some video that I would like to show Ms. Alexander. And this is video from the bus video.
Which exhibit number is this?
159A.
Right. And again, no sound.
No sound. We just looked at 159A. Was that part of the video that we obtained from RTA?
Yes.
And we saw a still earlier on where Mr. Martin was captured entering into the bus, right?
Correct.
And does that part of the video show what was on the video we received from RTA?
Correct. That still came from the video.
And essentially, it's him coming onto the bus, putting his ticket in, and taking the seat.
That's correct.
Now, the next exhibit we'd like to show you is 159B. And if we just pause it there for a second, 159B, we saw earlier that we had a still of Mr. Martin sitting down on the bus as it was traveling between Riverside and Corona. Is this video excerpt part of that?
It is.
Play 159B. And was that the excerpt that we took from the complete video of the RTA bus video?
That's correct.
And that video showed Mr. Martin sitting down on the bench seat.
Yes, sir.
And 159C, earlier on we saw still video, or stills from the video, Mr. Martin getting off the bus. Is this part of that video excerpt?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Thank you. At this point, we can now move to the transcript and the playing of the ADT phone call.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, just a couple of comments. You're going to hear an audio tape. You're also going to receive a transcript. The transcript is not the evidence. The tape is the evidence. The tape is the evidence, not the transcript. Transcript is just there as an aid to help you. Now, if along the way, as you're hearing the tape, you find that there is some mistake in the transcript, you can go ahead and correct it if you like. But remember, the tape is the evidence, not the transcript. Now, the other thing that will happen with respect to this part of the evidence is the court reporter is not going to be transcribing this portion of the trial. And the reason for that is, obviously, if we have a witness on the stand that's testifying and she doesn't hear something, she can stop the witness and ask what she said. Can't do that when there's a tape playing because, obviously, the person's on tape, not here in the courtroom. So as a result, we do not have the court reporter transcribe this portion of the trial. The only evidence of this portion of the trial will be the tape. So you can't get readback of it. If you wish to listen to this part of the trial again, it won't come from the court reporter. Thank you. It'll come from the tape itself. So in a moment, the attorneys are going to stipulate that the court reporter need not transcribe this portion of the trial. Now, as I mentioned, somebody goes into great detail in an attempt to transcribe certain conversations. Sometimes they get it wrong. Sometimes there are typos. If you think you spot one, then you're free to go ahead and make note of it. And then obviously you can talk about that in jury deliberations with your fellow jurors. These transcripts will be yours to keep for the balance of the trial, so you won't be passing them back in and out. These will be yours to keep for the balance of the trial until deliberations. So you can just keep them in the slot or on the seat where you're seated or in front of you, and these will be yours to keep. All right, so with that said, counsel stipulate the court reporter may be relieved of her duties under the code from transcribing this portion of the trial.
Yes. Yes.
All right, then you may go ahead and play the tape. This is, I'm sorry, the exhibit number?
158. Sorry, apologize, 158A.
158 is the tape, and 158A is a transcript that's marked. All right.
Thank you for calling ADT Field Support. This is Jeremy. May I help you? Yeah, I'm calling the Constellation. What is the account number, please? Yeah, it's uniform 381-912-549. What is your name and tag number, please? First name is Valerie. Tag number is 614-0606. And name and address? We got Willie Martin at 1027 Winthrop Drive, Corona, California, 92882. What kind of panel are they supposed to have? Is possible? Any fire besides the keypad? I'm sorry? Any fire points besides the keypad? No fire, no carbon, no keyboard, we got all free. Cameras and Z-Wave both, or no? Correct. Yep. Well, where's the panel located? This is a hallway, first floor hallway. First hallway is in the laundry room. Where's the keypad? In the hallway, the founder keypad. No sublet, but I can pull it from calls. ADT Field Support, this is Jeremy, may I help you? Are you still on the line? ADT Field Support, may I help you? This is ADT Field Support, may I help you? Is anyone on the line? ADT disconnected for no response. ADT disconnected for no response. ADT disconnected for no response.
All right, we're back on record. All parties are present. All jurors and alternates are present. Mr. Kurz?
Ms. Alexander, you were the one who transcribed that phone call between ADT and Mr. Swanson.
Yes, sir.
And in the first part, we hear Mr. Swanson speaking with Jeremy from ADT. Yes?
Yes, sir.
And then at some point, we hear some noise in the background. When you were able to listen to the tape, were you able to make out some of those words?
Yes, sir.
And the words you have transcribed for us is your best ability to recreate that noise in the background.
Correct. It was difficult, but the typing and the call center noise versus the background noise occurring at the house were simultaneous, so it was difficult to decipher those.
Now, I just want to go back briefly to 219 that I showed you. You see that photograph?
Yes, sir.
I just want to draw attention to the clothing that Mr. Martin is wearing there, the baseball cap, which is a green top with a yellow bill.
Yes, sir.
And then he's wearing like a sweater or a hoodie type.
Some kind of a zip up. Yes, sir.
And then tan pants.
Yes, sir.
I have one further stipulation I can read at this moment, Your Honor.
All right, you may do so, and same admonishment to all of you with respect to the stipulation.
Thank you. The people of the state of California versus Brandon Martin, stipulation regarding Barry Swanson's wallet. Hereby stipulated by Deputy District Attorney Michael Kurz and Defense Counsel Christian Jensen and Edward Wellborn for the purposes of this jury trial and any motions arising from it that A, Barry Swanson's wallet, 1, on January 9, 2016, Corona Police Officer Sandoval responded 3780 Mountain Gate Drive in Corona regarding the homeowner finding a wallet in his backyard. 2, Michael Killian, the homeowner, found a wallet in his backyard at about 15:45 hours on January 9, 2016. The leather was worn and the buttons rusty. 3, after finding the wallet, Mr. Killam looked through the wallet and found the driver's license belonging to Barry D. Swanson. 4, Mr. Killam contacted the police department. 5, Officer Sandoval put the wallet into evidence at the Corona Police Department. This stipulation was agreed upon February 27, 2020, between myself, Michael Kurz, Mr. Jensen, and Mr. Wellborn.
All right, defense stipulate to those facts?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, did I ask you, Ms. Alexander, to create an exhibit regarding the location of where Mr. Swanson's wallet was found?
You did.
I'm going to show you 234 for identification. And do you see 234 there?
Yes, sir.
Would you please point out to us what we're looking at?
It doesn't show up too well here, but on the right side is the map of the area, this being Mountain Gate Park. And this address here is being the address where the wallet was located. To the left is a picture of the evidence of the wallet as it was taken into for evidence. And this is just a street view of the exterior wall on the street for this residence right here, and that's the location, 3780 Mountain.
From that street view of the house, does the the house back onto the street of Mountain Gate?
Yes, sir. This is not very clear, but this is a 6-foot cinder block wall, and towards the front of the house is this way.
Is that any better looking now that the brightness has been adjusted?
Oh, yes, sir. There you go. So this is along here, the back wall, and right in the corner in this area is where the wallet was located, and this being the wallet. It's a little washed out here, but.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Ross?
The bus video. We see Mr. Martin get on at 2:25 in the afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir.
We see him exit at 3:02, correct?
Yes, sir.
You watched the entirety of the video, correct?
Correct. It was a little less than an hour.
During that time, did Mr. Martin ever leave his seat?
Yes, sir.
Where did he go?
When I was watching the video, it appeared a couple of times he took something out of his pocket and put something into his mouth, and he was chewing gum, it looked like, and he walked forward to across the aisle towards where the entrance was of the bus, and I don't know what, he was out of the camera view, and then he came immediately back to the seat.
And did he do that once?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever see him interact with anybody on the bus?
No, sir, he didn't speak to anybody, even though people were around him.
Okay. Let's go to the audio tape that we just listened to. You listened to the same tape that we listened to, correct?
Yes, sir. With the exception that I had earbuds in and for about 2 hours.
Okay. And were you able to enhance the audio such that you could hear the background better than we could hear the background?
Other than having earbuds and repeating it, rewind, play, for 2 hours. That was the only advantage.
Thank you, Dustin.
Any redirect? Is the witness excused?
Yes.
You're excused. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. There's items here that aren't mine. I didn't bring them up with me. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
They belong to somebody. Okay, thank you.
Additional witnesses this afternoon?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break a little bit early. We went through the evidence a little more quickly than we'd anticipated. So we will go ahead and break for the day. We will be reconvening tomorrow morning. So I'll remind all of you not to discuss the facts of this case amongst yourselves or with anyone unrelated to the trial.